Voivod is a Canadian heavy metal band from Jonquière, Québec. Copyright Beck. Their musical style has changed several times since the band's origin in the early 1980s. Starting out as a speed metal band, Voivod have added a mix of progressive metal and thrash metal to create their own unique metal style. Since their debut record in 1984, Voivod have released 11 studio albums as well as 1 EP, 1 live album, 2 compilations, 7 demos and 1 DVD featuring a live concert. The band found mainstream success in the late 1980s with the album Nothingface, which was the first Voivod album to enter the Billboard 200 charts, peaking at number 114. Voivod's most recent studio album is 2013's Target Earth, their only album with the lineup of Snake, Chewy, Blacky and Away. History. Voivod was formed in 1982 in Jonquière, Quebec, Canada. Influenced equally by the new wave of British heavy metal, the burgeoning hardcore punk scene and 70-year unregistered trademark as progressive rock, Voivod forged a distinctive brand of heavy music that often relied on lyrical themes such as Reagan-era Cold War politics, post-apocalyptic literature and science fiction. Killing technology began the band's evolution in earnest, with the character from Voivod's album covers significantly being depicted in a spaceship. Drawing more heavily on hardcore punk than metal influences by this point, Voivod began evolving without the aid of increasing speed and storytelling on the following dimension: Hatros. Voivod was one of the first thrash bands from Canada to gain popularity outside of their country's borders, reaching the peak of their global popularity with the 1989 release Nothingface, which featured a cover version of Pink Floyd's Astronomy Domine. Other progressive rock covers include Pink Floyd's The Nile Song on their 1993 release The Outer Limits and 21st Century Schizoid Man by King Crimson on Phobos. Much of the band's sound comes from guitarist Piggy's usage of dissonant chords, usually played in the high register of the guitar, used extensively on Nothingface. Albums like Dimension Heart or Paragraph SS are dominated by dissonant chords, unexpected time signatures and guitarist Piggy's liberal use of unconventional minor chords. 2 of the 4 founding members left Voivod in the early 1990s. Jean-Yves got involved with dance and electronic music, while Dennis Bellinger isolated himself to battle his drug problems and eventually started a new project, Union Made. Meanwhile, the band recorded 4 albums as a trio in the mid to late 1990s with new member Eric Forrest, nicknamed E-Force, handling both vocals and bass guitar. Forrest was seriously injured in a car accident in Germany in 1998, and that incarnation of Voivod never regained the momentum they lost during his rehabilitation. After Eric Forrest left the band, his insurance company attempted to sue the band for the injuries he sustained in the crash, as he was in the care of the band at the time. Voivod briefly disbanded in 2001 before Copyright Langer returned to the band. The next incarnation of Voivod featured 3 of the 4 founding members, Dennis Copyright Langer, Dennis Dammer, and Michelle Langevin, along with Jason Newsted on bass guitar. Guitarist Dennis Dammer died at the age of 45 on August 26, 2005 due to complications from colon cancer. Soon after they released K-Tuts, in July 2006. The album is based around riffs found on the laptop of guitarist Dennis Dammer. Just prior to his death, he left instructions for his bandmates on how to use them. In November 2006, the song Extreme was featured on Guitar Hero 2. Langevin confirmed that Voivod were planning to work on their final studio album in late 2007, which will contain tracks recorded with Dammer before his death. For the recordings of this final album, the band had invited their previous members Blacky and Eric Forrest. Langevin also launched a new krautrock-esque band in 2007, Cosmos, who issued a self-titled debut via the End Records in September. Voivod was part of the Heavy MTL show that was held in Montreal on the 22nd of June, 2008. Voivod also performed at the Monsters of Rock Festival in Calgary, Canada on July 26, 2008, and supported Judas Priest at the Bell Centre, Montreal, Canada on August 12, 2008. Voivod also played a full set at Thrash Domination in Kawasaki, Japan, 20 September 21, 2008. along with the bands Testament and Forbidden. The band consisted of Bar copyright Langer, Langevin, Thar copyright Rialt, and Dan Mungrain on guitar. In early January 2009, Voivod announced that they were putting the finishing touches on their new album and expected to release it in the spring of that year. The album, now known as Infamy, was released on June 23, 2009. By July 2010, Voivod had been writing and recording new music. Drummer Michel Langevin stated that it was too early to tell if the recordings would result in a new Voivod album. On July 4, 2012, Voivod announced the title of their upcoming 13th studio album, Target Earth, which was released on January 22, 2013. Target Earth has a more progressive sound than some of their last few albums, and is a return to a more classic Voivod sound that can be heard on Dimension Hatros and Nothingface. All the music was written by Blacky and Chewy, while Snake focused on lyrics, and Away took care of the artwork. On July 10, 2014, it was reported that Blacky had left Voivod again. In late January 2015 the band released the new single We Are Connected, which is the lead track from the upcoming 7-split vinyl disc with the band at the gates. It is the first music to feature new bassist Dominic Rocky Larocque. Voivod has also been working on a new album, which is due for release in early 2016. Musical style and influences: Voivod's style is considered progressive metal and thrash metal. Their 1991 album Angel Rat has been labeled alternative metal. Voivod's influences include Bar copyright La Barta Cubed K, Bauhaus, Birth Control, Black Flag, Black Sabbath, Broken Bones, Alice Cooper, Deep Purple, Die Kreuzen, Einster 1/4 Zen Nu Baten, GBH, Genesis, Grand Funk Railroad, Hawkwind, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Killing Joke, King Crimson, Creator, Led Zeppelin, Metallica, Motor Paragraph Red, Nectar, Pink Floyd, Public Image Limited, Ramones, Rush, Saxon, Sex Pistols, Swans, UFO, Van der Graaf Generator, Venom and Yes. Members: Current, Michel Langevin Euro drums, Dennis Barr copyright Langer Euro vocals, Daniel Mungrain Euro guitar, Dominique Larocque Euro bass, former, Dennis Dammer Euro guitar, Jean-Yves copyright Renault Euro bass, Pierre Saint-Jean Euro bass, Gilles Brisbois Euro bass, Eric Forrest Euro bass, vocals, Jason Newsted Euro bass, guest musicians, Vincent Pica Euro bass, timeline.